Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back on my channel. My name is Luisa and in today's video I'm going to share with you a list of 9 awesome things to do and see while you are in the capital of Andalusia, Seville. Seville is located in the south of Spain and is very well known for flamenco, tapas food, very hot steamy summers and for very affordable prices. I've been to so many places in this beautiful country and I think Seville was probably one of the most affordable ones, which is always a plus if you're also considering the budget when you are planning a trip. I was in Seville for 2 nights in June while I was traveling through the country, so these 9 things would perfectly fit a 2-day city break to Seville. I don't want to get lost into too many details now, so let's jump right into it. What can you do in Seville for 2 days? So first place to visit, which was also my favorite, is Plaza de Espana. What you might find surprising is that this is not an old or historically significant monument. It was built in 1922 for the Ibero-American Exposition. The walls are decorated with colorful tiles, each representing a different province of Spain. I was there at sunset time, which only made the visit even more spectacular. Also, this is one of the most photographed places in Seville, so you might recognize this type of pictures that I'm gonna insert here. Next up, we have Maria Luisa Park, which is right next to Plaza de Espana, or more accurately, Plaza de Espana is located inside the park. This is probably one of the most beautiful city parks I have ever been to. It is an oasis of peace and tranquility located within the city, and it is a perfect spot to cool off if you visit during one of those hot summer days like I did. The temperatures in Seville can go up to 35 or 40 degrees if you go there in July and August. So if I were to recommend you something, do not go to Seville in one of these 2 months. However, if you do go, this park would be perfect for you to find a shade and just relax there. Moving on to numero 3, we have the beautiful Cathedral of Seville together with the Giralda Tower. Be prepared to remain speechless, as this is the largest Gothic cathedral in the world. And apart from how beautiful it is on the outside, inside you can also spot the tomb of Christopher Columbus. Also, you have to go on top of the tower for some stunning views overlooking the old town. And what is unique about the tower is that in order to reach the top, there isn't a stairway, so you don't go upstairs, but there are 34 ramps. I know it sounds strange, but back in the days, the person who was leading the calls to prayer would go up on his horse to the very top, so that's why there are no stairs but ramps. Now we are located in the hallway with the clocks, which is right on top of the cathedral. The height that we are now is approximately the size of a 25 stories building, and from here you really get to see the entire city of Seville, which is very beautiful. The price to go inside the church and also up to the tower is 10 euros for general admission, and you can buy tickets for 5 euros if you're a student. Next one on the list, and probably the most spectacular one, is the Royal Alcazar of Seville, which is still sometimes home for the royal family of Spain and is located just next to the cathedral, so it is very convenient if you want to visit both of them the same day. Most of the palace dates back to the 12th century when it was converted into a Christian palace, but still has a few remaining traces of the original Moorish structure that goes back to the 8th century. Inside of the building, the architecture style is really impressive. There is a mix of Renaissance, Gothic and Romanesque architecture. You can also see some Arabic and Islamic influences from back in the year 900 when the original fortress was built. However, during the years, more and more additional buildings have been built on top of the original fortress, around it, so it is really a mix of architecture, a mix of history, which only makes this place even more interesting and fascinating. However, what really impressed me the most were the spectacular gardens, and especially these really tall palm trees that I haven't really seen before in Spain or anywhere else, to be exact. Another important aspect to be mentioned is that certain episodes of Game of Thrones were filmed in this palace, so maybe that's why it's looking a bit familiar to you, even though you haven't been there. The price to get inside is 15 euros. They also have discounts at 7 euros for older citizens or students, only from the European Union, I think. But what you should know is that also for the cathedral and for this one, I would definitely advise you to book the tickets in advance, as there are some very huge lines, especially for the palace. The cathedral not that much, but for the palace most of the times it is very crowded, so make sure you book it online, you avoid the crowds, and then you also have a selected time slot to go there. Moving on to number 5, you need to go and watch a flamenco show if you are in Seville. The famous flamenco movement originated in Andalusia, so even if you can probably find shows anywhere in Spain, supposedly the best ones are in Andalusia, so in Seville, which is the capital of Andalusia. So I have booked mine at a street seller that was selling tickets for that night's show, and I bought it for 16 euros. However, you can also definitely find shows online. I always check Get Your Guide. This is where you can find many shows, many flamenco shows. The tickets start at 20 euros, maybe for 25 you can also get a drink, and if you are willing to pay more, you can also have dinner included in your ticket as well while you are watching the show. The show that I've been to is this one, and we didn't get anything, no drinks, no food, nothing. It was just a 1-hour show, but it was very intense, as flamenco is supposed to be, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm gonna insert now some videos from the show so you can kind of like get an idea on how it's gonna be like. The next very important thing that you need to do when you're in Seville is eat tapas. If you haven't been to Spain before, or if you're not familiar with the term tapas, it refers to small dishes that people in Spain buy together and they just share it with everyone at the table. So it is a very traditional Spanish type of food. However, you can now find tapas in many countries, but it originated from Spain. The best areas to find this type of restaurants, I mean, you can basically find them everywhere, but there are some small streets next to the cathedral, so they are adjacent to the cathedral. That's where I had some really good tapas at this restaurant that I'm gonna link here. And then also on the riverside there are some very good ones, but generally everywhere in the old town you can find good tapas restaurants. And the one that I really liked is still in the city center and is this one. So here I had some really good dishes. So some of my favorite tapas dishes, keep in mind that I used to live in Spain. I lived there for a year, so I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to food, because I really enjoy going out to eat. So some of my favorite tapas dishes are patatas bravas, pimientos de padrón, pan con tomate, gambas y aioli, which is prawns in garlic, and the famous jamón, which you can have with whatever. You can have, for example, jamón with pan con tomate or with the patatas bravas. Pan con tomate is bread. It's really a small crispy bread with tomato sauce and salt and olive oil. Patatas bravas means spicy potatoes. So it's baked potatoes with garlic sauce and the spicy sauce. All of them are super good. And also the good thing is that they're so cheap. In Seville, you can find probably the cheapest tapas in Spain, because it originated from here and because Seville in general is very inexpensive. There are places where you can even find, like, let's say a beer plus one tapas for 2 euros, yeah. Or if you want to get tapas, it's like 3 euros, 2.50 euros, 4 euros. Depends, of course, where you go and what type of tapas it is, because jamón is always more expensive, but the prices are really good. Next up on the list is Las Setas de Sevilla. This is a wooden structure, the biggest wood structure in the world, and it was constructed in 2011. It is located in the old town of the city, and what is interesting here is the huge contrast between this new piece and all the other old buildings in the area. The price to go up is €5, and why I would suggest you to go up is for the view, not necessarily for the structure, which is still impressive, but you get a view overlooking the old town, and it's quite interesting, and you'll be able to just admire the town from there. Next on the list is El Torre del Oro, which is located on the riverside. Built in the 13th century, it was meant to protect and overlook the trading that took place on the river. In the 18th century, part of it was destroyed during the Lisbon earthquake, but it was quickly restored. Alright, so I bought the ticket, it was €3, and now there's kind of like a museum explaining the history of the city. Actually the history of the river and the tower, and then there are stairs going all the way up. Unfortunately no elevator, but it's fine, we can do it. There are only 30 degrees outside, no big deal. You can enjoy the view, it's overlooking the river, and also on top, on the last floor actually, there is a naval museum, so you get to learn about the naval history of Spain and Seville. Last but not least, the final thing on our list is, oh, I even made a rhyme here, is to just explore the streets of the old town. You will definitely cross them just going from a place to a different one. However, just get lost in the streets, lose the map for a second and just wander around, because this entire town is just stunning. It is very beautiful. You can find awesome architecture that takes your breath away at every single corner, and there are also many small churches on the streets that just look gorgeous, like the one here in this video that really impressed me a lot. You can find delicious food and also the kindest people that I've met in Spain. Some of the kindest were definitely in this town, so take advantage of that as well. This is it, guys. I hope the list was useful to you. I'm going to link some things in the description box, so check that out as well. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're planning to go to Seville and still have some questions, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is butlari, and I would be happy to help you out with planning your trip. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe before you leave, it would really help me a lot, and I'll see you on my next one.